everybody here feels like family. And that, I think, is really a really good thing about our church, is that we are a community and we're a family.
It's welcoming because Christ is here. And to me, it's obvious that Christ is here. And I think it's obvious to almost everybody that is here.
There's just something that I've always felt like the doors were always open for, whatever you needed, just with the community, with Father Ed, with just whoever. Just you always felt welcome here.
A dynamic parish. A dynamic parish.
It's been a really exciting journey.
But we had been hoping we'd have a Catholic church out here for years.
And I got a call from Bishop Niedergrisess, and basically said, Joe, I'm forming a parish in Brentwood, and I'd like for you and your wife to be part of my committee.
We invited, anyone interested in being part of the Catholic community of Brentwood to come together. It was a covered dish supper. We expected about 500 people. It was over at Brentwood, high in the cafeteria. Over 1,500 people showed up. And I was manning the ministry tables, getting people to sign up for the different ministries. And Ed was just like a little kid. He kept coming and getting me and grabbing me and bringing me over, showing me the line coming in. Because it was so much more of a turnout than we'd expected.
We would bring all the books and everything we needed to the high school in a big van called Casper, and then we'd have to take it all back every single Sunday. We would do this for almost 2 years. I think we did that.
Casper, oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
Remember, the parish worked for UPS, and he got an old truck donated. They painted it white, and they called it Casper. And I asked why they called it Casper, and he says, well, after we painted it, was parked back there with all the brown trucks and looked like a ghost, so we just nicknamed it Casper.
It was just a great place to have Mass. Again, a great community.
It was just the most beautiful community, because I think we were all so enthusiastic to have a church here in Brentwood. I think that was a dream of all of ours.
And I just think we all worked so well together as a group, and everyone that was, whether a catechist or the pastor or whatever, everyone wanted to be doing this. We were so excited that we were going to have a official building that we could worship in. And then for now, we're in the high school, but we're building each and every day to get in this building.
Young families, young children, and everyone growing together. Really is how it was. It seemed like the majority of the families were young families.
We went from 300 or 400 that night. And the day we opened this church, we were up to about 800. So, and then just been going skyrocket ever since.
And begin with the people, not with the buildings. He began with the people. And in a sense, that's my mission, is to continue his, to keep deepening the bonds of community. The church is its people, not its buildings.
Parish really became more of a home once I got involved in some of the ministries, because I kind of wandered around wondering what I was going to do and is it right for me, and then I said, well, maybe if I get involved it'll be the right place, and once I got involved it was more like home, and it's amazing when you spend a little time around the church, you get more involved with stuff, and it just seems to be a better fit for you.
Because this is a vibrant community, it's very family oriented.
I think one of the things that's changed a lot is we have a lot more volunteers that are willing to step forward and get involved in the community. Where I used to read maybe twice a month, now I read twice a quarter. But that's a good thing because we've got more people interested in doing that.
People have stayed and have continued to grow with the church and be involved in the church is because the love of this church. And I think Father Ed brought a lot of that to us.
I mean, you just say that you need something, and everybody's, got their, self there for you. They're ready to help you with any kind of project that you have. If you need anything for, like in my case, if we need anything for room in the inn.
Besides the 1,100, 1,200 kids, you got 250 catechists or teachers. That's the more mind-boggling number, that you have that many individuals who have committed their time every Sunday for 26, 30 weeks, whatever it is, to teach those kids.
Michael and I are both lectors and Eucharistic ministers, and I sing in the choir, and we've been involved with the different faith-sharing groups. We've hosted those at our home. We've been participants. I prepare meals for room at the inn, and Michael does.
Yeah, I do. I've been involved in the Men's Club ever since I've been a member here. I also help form the Knights, which provides a whole new group of people I didn't even know existed in the parish.
I was honored to be on the first parish council, and of course, as I just told you, I was the lector, lay minister, usher, all those kind of things. Now I'm into things like the seniors group, and but I'm still active in those kind of ways.
I feel like once those communities are formed, then that is what, the kids, a lot of times, my children, even when they were in middle school, they would be upset if for some reason they weren't in the class because they wanted to be here with their friends. So I think the community is a big piece.
Started out with the music at the high school with 4-year-olds. As of this year, I have retired from Vacation Bible School after doing that for 10 years. I have taught religious ed. I've taught First Reconciliation, First Penance. I've done Liturgy of the Word with the children. I have worked with Breakfast with Santa. I have worked with fashion shows. Golly, I don't even know. I love my church.
I've come to see a tremendous commitment to service. And thirdly, a real spiritual hunger, a real spiritual longing.
They're standing here back in 1991 where all this was just a pasture and imagining the church to be here. And what you see is, I think, is a real tribute to the people of the parish since we started in 1989.
He was very able to find the sacred in the most ordinary events, and I think that's what characterized this parish from the beginning. He liked celebrating with family, he liked meals, he liked travel.
He just seemed to really see people and know people and truly, truly care.
I told her mother, she said, that Jesus man told me that when I got home to give you a hug and kiss. And Daniel said, no, you're not.
His sense of humor, his wit, his sometimes his inappropriateness, was all part of, who made him really kind of a special person.
He used to like to scare people. And on Wednesday night, with religious ed going on, he would slip into the building and hide. And once everybody left and the girls were going through locking up and everything, he would jump out and scare them. And they would scream and yell. He would get the biggest kick.
He knew where to hide and scare us out of our, what.
I just think he was sincere, he wanted he wanted this parish to be something, and for the people that came and got involved to really reach out.
You could just see the joy in his movements. You could see it when he was on the stage, which was our altar at the high school. It was awesome. And I think all of that rubbed off on all of us.
And Father Ed loved to baptize. everything he did, if it was give ashes on Ash Wednesday, he just gave, you knew you received ashes.
His baptism, like at Easter Vigil, he loved to stand in that, he'd get in that pot and then he'd dunk them down in there.
I went back home. There was a sister in my parish in New Jersey that had befriended me, and she knew I was worried about moving here, and she said, "So, did you find a church yet?" And I said, "I did. I have this good feeling about this one parish, and they have a lot of young families." And she said, "Did you meet the pastor?" And I said, "Well, yes, I did. He was vacuuming when we came in." And she said, "That's a great sign, Janice."
And I kept on calling him Father, Father, and he turned around and one day he said, "You can't call me Father anymore. I'm going to start calling you daughter." He said, "My name is Ed Alberts."
The vision that he had, the strong emphasis on community and the strong emphasis on service.
We talk about community a lot, and we talk about love for our neighbor, love for our brother, love for one another, love for others. And I think that just sort of reaches out to everybody. And so when you come here, you feel that love.
Everybody's welcome here.
We've got a whole army of people here that are followers of Christ.
We are a joyful, loving Catholic community. And that's what I saw from the very day that we had the first Mass.
This has been my family.
This Holy Family, by its the name, is a Holy Family. This is a joy-filled, loving, caring church.
And it's surprising how many people, recognize Patrick, and they'll come up to me and say how much it means to see him at church every Sunday. So he touches a lot of people that we don't even realize.
We may have been a lifeboat for them, but they were a lifeline for us.
Christ comes to us where we are. In our life situations, in our heads, in our hearts, in our woundedness, with his desire to love us and heal us and give us the strength that we need. That he comes to where we are.
It's easy to get involved here. There's some activity that every newcomer, every person can get himself involved in.
It gives the young parents a feeling we're in the right place, and it gives the older people a feeling of hope for the future as they see these young folks and young parents in church.
I just think it's a very joy-filled parish. I mean, sometimes I say I think some of the children are a little bit too comfortable here.
I think Holy Family is a place for families. I think it's very child-centered. I think very family-centered. But with that, I think it's also people-centered.
My wife became Catholic at this church. Actually, she was baptized here, so she became a Christian. When she was baptized, the night she got baptized, she was crying. Father Ed was so, good to her, and it was just really kind of endeared her to the Holy Family as well. The whole process at the church was awesome. I got a little bit of a chill now from just thinking about it.
I hope to be like the Gene and George Berrys and some of our, the next generation. I'm looking forward to being that and watching my grandchildren, go through the program here at Holy Family and then hopefully see them teaching the program like my children did. I mean, I'm excited for that.
Every Sunday when they, dismiss the kids, you just see a whole army of kids walking up the aisle, so that's always kind of makes you smile.
I think in retrospect, I probably think, wow, we could sure use some room on Sunday at 10:30 Mass.
We're still growing. We're still, I think that we're a church community that people feel they're a part of
we also are very open to meeting the needs, the growing needs of the current community. And that means lots of different things, I think, in terms of where people are at in their spirituality.
Coming in at 6:15 on Friday mornings to talk about that amongst 12 or 15 people, men, it's pretty good. It keeps me younger, I think. Keeps me wanting to be part of it. Yeah, that's for sure.
And it's wonderful to see the kids that are taught, that I can be just somewhere and I'm amazed that they still recognize it.
The youth, they are the future church. We need to form them, train them in our faith, and give them all kinds of encouragement.
I think there's a strong sense of community. Even though it is a large parish in terms of numbers, I often say it has a small parish feel.
When I was teaching the baptism prep classes, seeing some of the kids that were in Life Team when we first started come back with their babies for the class, and just to watch the full cycle go around. And I mean, it gave me a feeling of, hey, I may have affected somebody's lives. God gave me this gift, just being able to be a part of their lives.
Every time I see Bishop Choby, the first thing I tell him is thank you for Father Joe. He says, I know, but that man just wears me out.
People don't come and then just leave. They come and they stay.
Having those people around says so much. It says that, they found this church. Some of them were, they came from another parish not far away from here. They may even live closer to the other parish now, but they still feel like this is their parish. They still stay involved as much as they can, and it just shows that, hey, there's something really good here.
John and Julie Dorr, they just came to mind. They caused this thing to move quicker than it otherwise might have because of their generosity.
I've always joked and said I want to grow up and be just like Margaret Sharp. She's also a St. Bernard's graduate, a few years ahead of me. But I see so many of the people that started with us 25 years ago are still teaching religious ed. They're at Mass during the week. They're involved in Bible studies. They have continued to do all the things that we started doing 25 years ago.
You never know how the Lord is going to really lead you or what He's going to expose you to along the way.
But I love the outreach. I love that we reach out to the world and we say, here's God's love, and we're going to show you in a tangible way.
The efforts and activities of the church have been true and consistent with that, and it continues on to now. And I think that's, again, a force for good, and that's noble and honorable, and it's nice to be a part of.
When he brought me to church that first time, I sat down and I was sitting there, and it was very quiet, and the Lord says, you're home. You are home.
I hope they learn that that God is always with them. And Father Joe said in a homily not long ago, you don't have to reach far, His hand is always there. Yeah. And I just hope that's something they take and carry with them, so that no matter what challenges they may be faced with, that they always know that to be true.
Life is fun when you're with Christ and you're with friends and you're happily married and you have a place like this to go and worship and pray and thank God for all the blessings that we've got.